Accordingly, we appointed an independent King's Counsel to conduct an investigation into the veracity of these complaints. To date, Mr Lowe has yet to cooperate with this investigation. Our political allegations of serious bullying have been made against the Reform UK MP Rupert Lowe. The party says it's received complaints from two women who worked in his offices.
Reform UK is facing its biggest internal crisis yet, as Rupert Lowe has been suspended and had his whip removed amid serious allegations. The timing couldn't be more suspicious, coming just after Lowe publicly questioned Nigel Farage's leadership style. But what's really happening behind closed doors? The official statement cites bullying and threats of physical violence, but Lowe claims it's a targeted attack with zero credible evidence. This power struggle reveals deep fractures in a party that's supposed to be challenging the political establishment. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favour. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. So what exactly is going on beneath the surface of this very public political meltdown? Reform UK's statement throws some serious allegations against Rupert Lowe, creating a tangled web of accusations and counter-accusations that demands closer examination. According to the party's official statement, complaints came from not just one but two female employees, one working in Lowe's parliamentary office and another from his constituency office. The nature of these complaints appears particularly concerning, as they specifically mention the targeting of women who raised concerns. This gender-focused element adds a troubling dimension to the case, especially in today's political climate where workplace harassment allegations can end careers overnight.
Well, the party has released a statement saying evidence was provided to us of workplace bullying, the targeting of female staff who raised concerns. The MP says the claims are untrue and said there is zero credible evidence, and evidence of derogatory and discriminatory remarks made about women, including reference to a perceived disability. We feel we have a duty of care to all our staff, whether employed directly or indirectly.
But Lowe's response couldn't create a more contradictory narrative if he tried. Taking to social media with undisguised frustration, he declared himself disappointed but not surprised by what he characterises as untrue and false allegations. His language leaves no room for ambiguity. "Let me be abundantly clear," he stated. "This investigation is based on zero credible evidence against me." What makes this case particularly intriguing is Lowe's claim about the King's Counsel appointed to investigate the matter. According to Lowe, the KC was shocked at the process itself and confirmed to him directly that there is no credible evidence supporting the accusations. If true, this raises profound questions about the integrity of Reform UK's internal processes and the motivations behind this very public suspension. The timing here cannot be ignored. These allegations surfaced immediately after Lowe publicly questioned aspects of Nigel Farage's leadership style.
The threats were made on Friday the 13th of December. They say officers are carrying out an assessment of the allegations to determine what further action may be required. Yes, this is developing hour by hour, and we just have had confirmation from the Metropolitan Police. What they say is that on Thursday, the 6th of March, they received an allegation of verbal threats made by a 67-year-old man. So this is a complaint that has been made to the police just this week based on alleged threats made on the 13th of December. So
hardly a coincidence, according to Lowe's supporters. This sequence of events creates the impression that we might be witnessing internal power dynamics at play, rather than a genuine concern about workplace misconduct. Perhaps most revealingly, Lowe directly challenges the legitimacy of the complaints, suggesting they're nothing more than retaliatory measures. In his account, the staff member in question only raised a fictitious complaint once disciplinary proceedings had been initiated against them for a serious wrongdoing. This flips the entire narrative on its head, portraying Lowe not as perpetrator, but as the victim of a calculated attempt to undermine his position after he tried to address misconduct within his own team. The confusion deepens when examining the investigation process itself. Reform UK claims Lowe has refused to cooperate with the investigation, a serious charge that paints him as obstructive and potentially guilty. Yet Lowe counters that he has spoken at length with the King's Counsel investigating the matter, and at great cost to the party no less. These completely contradictory accounts of the same process suggest either deliberate misrepresentation by one side or a catastrophic breakdown in communication within the party.
He has released his own statement. He says, "I am disappointed but not surprised to read Reform's untrue and false allegations. Let me be abundantly clear. This investigation is based on zero credible evidence against me, as has been repeatedly stated by the neutral investigator." So this is part of the statement that was originally released by Reform, and it is something that Rupert Lowe says is categorically untrue. None has been provided. Allegations of physical threats are outrageous and entirely untrue. I've never made any derogatory comments about women or those with disabilities. This is a lie. These allegations are not even referring to me. I will be seeking legal advice immediately.
What makes this situation particularly precarious for Reform UK is the party's carefully cultivated image as the anti-establishment alternative. A party that positions itself as the solution to traditional political game playing now finds itself embroiled in exactly the kind of internal drama it criticises in others. This creates not just a crisis of leadership, but a crisis of identity for a party still establishing its credibility with voters. The most damning criticism from Lowe may be his assessment of the leadership's response to what he characterises as constructive feedback. His statement that a complete inability to accept even the most mild constructive criticism without such a malicious reaction is not effective leadership strikes at the heart of Reform UK's self-portrayal as a more authentic, honest political force. What we're witnessing is a pivotal moment that will define Reform UK's future credibility. For a party that rose to prominence by challenging the political establishment, they now face their own internal credibility test. The outcome will reveal whether Reform truly stands for the principles they've championed, or if they're becoming what they once criticised. This situation forces Reform UK to make a critical choice. Will they prioritise accountability and due process, or will leadership loyalty trump everything else? Their handling of this investigation will send a clear message to voters who abandoned traditional parties precisely because they were sick of internal politics trumping principles. The party's supporters now find themselves at a crossroads too. It's not just about picking sides between Lowe and the leadership. It's about deciding what kind of political alternative they actually want. Is Reform UK genuinely different from the establishment parties? Or is it simply replicating the same problematic power dynamics under a different banner?